first Heal Together with the Health Hub Open Day. This is very exciting, and thank you to each and every one of you for making the effort to come along today. A lot of familiar faces in the audience and a few new ones, so thank you, thank you. We're going to take you through the running order of today. We're going to talk to you about our incredible partnerships, the Health Hub, some incredible motivational stories from the things that are happening here at the Health Hub. And then we're going to welcome on the one and only Lilia Sinclair from Hill Scotland. Big shout out to Lilia. Then we're going to have a break, and then we're going to welcome on Jonathan Tennant, who is the founder of the Health Hub. Big shout out to Jonathan. Thank you for creating something truly remarkable, bringing massive change to the community. Then we're going to break for some lunch, and you'll have sandwiches, soup, and a beautiful tour of the hub. You'll get to see the biotherapies, the private gym, the yoga studio, and all that we have to offer here. Then you're going to get bored to tears with me, I'm afraid. But you do have to stay to watch me speaking, or you don't get into the big luxury prize draw. That's the blackmail bit. So on that note, I'm actually going to take you through, this off, because I feel stuck. I'm going to take you through the story of what's happened over the past few months with our partnerships. I found Jonathan the day Lilia phoned me and says, "I've heard this place in Corridors Village, do you want to come for a look?" At that stage, I had just handed my notice in to 30 years of my corporate career to go away and do breathwork facilitation full time, which I was very blessed to train Lilia to do. And luckily for me at that time, Jonathan's at the time business development manager was leaving to go elsewhere, and he was a bit worried about what the sales and marketing looked like for the hub. So with the 30 years of sales and marketing head on, I stepped in. Wasn't part of the plan, and now I've merged my holistic coaching with my business coaching, and Lee, my business partner, who's in the audience. Stand up, Lee! Shout out for Lee! And we're just about to launch our new business here at the Health Hub alongside Jonathan and Lilia, so lots of exciting things happening. And of course the lovely Laura from the Holistic Wellbeing. The first thing that I wanted to do when I got here was strengthen our brand and our offering to the clients to make sure that people got us on the map, knew that we were here, and get the word out to more people. How could that happen? Lilia needed for us to have somewhere for people to stay, because when we're working with people with stage 3, stage 4 cancer, long COVID and many other health issues, we can't just have them in for an afternoon and let them go off home. So we needed somewhere that they could come and stay with us and be with Lilia over a couple of days, over 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, sometimes longer. And we went out to our local hotel groups, including Ingliston Country Club, Gledhick House Hotel and Mar Hall, with many others. And they have all formed very strong relationships with us to be able to offer discounts for accommodation, places to have retreats, venue hire, and they're very, very, very in the bones of everything that we're doing. We have also just launched a brand new accommodation partner, Right Team Warriors Village. So people can come and hear me 2 minutes away from the hub. So on that note, they have given us incredible prizes for you all to win today. Who would like an overnight stay at the #1 spa in the UK? Gledhick have just completely revamped their whole spa, and they have been voted the best in the UK. And I can say from being there, it is the best I've ever seen. They have kindly given us a junior suite for one lucky person, which is to the value of about £600 or £700. A beautiful spa day to the value of a few £100, and that will come alongside a half day of biotherapies at the Health Hub. So that price is well over £1,000. So that will be announced at 2:30 today. And you have to be here to be in it to win it. Next one, Ingliston Country Club. For those who don't know, we are having a ball at the Grand Marquee at Ingliston Country Club. Very strong partner. We're actually having a practitioners dinner here tonight for 30 practitioners who will now be using this very room and the facilities here to have retreats and work in partnership with us. They have very kindly given us afternoon tea for 2. Somebody sacked the... Amazing. This is a future self-retreat day at Marhall. We have just won the contract to do the wellbeing retreats at Marhall, another very strong partner. We will have access to have our therapists and practitioners that work with us to be involved with all these retreats moving forward. This one is with the midlife transformer, Kirsty, and she is amazing. She is a boss lady and she really helps people who are going through midlife step into their power. I will also be on this retreat with the incredible Laura and some yoga instructors. So one lucky woman in this room will win an incredible transformative day. Would anyone like to go on that retreat? Get your coach, well, that would be me. I did train to become one of the world's first trauma-informed somatic leadership coaches in the world. I am on the top 2% of salespeople in the world, and one lucky person will have 2 hours dedicated to go through either their personal or business plans, which will be fun, but be ready for the change. Donated by the amazing Lilia. If anyone has not been on one of her festivals, you have to go. Not far away from this time last year, I went on my first weekend retreat with Lilia and I went to some festivals and it changed my life. So 2 lucky people will have a full weekend ticket to any of the places throughout Scotland where the festivals are being held. And the charity ball, we'll be giving one lucky winner a ticket to our incredible charity ball that's on the 16th of May, Engliston Country Club in the Grand Marquee. We have the amazing Gina McKee, Tom Russell, we have some incredible entertainment, and we're doing it all to raise funds for a very, very, very great cause. And it's to give people who don't have the finances to use biotherapies at the Health Hub the chance to come here and heal. If they've got stage 3, stage 4 cancer, if they've got anything with regards to long COVID and they don't have the finances to afford to use this place, we are now going to facilitate that. So please come. And that's the end of the prizes. So on that note, we're going to move on to our first speaker. These are all being a bit quiet, so I'm going to have to wake these up a bit, I'm afraid. So can I ask you all just to give your little feet a tap on the floor, wake these up a bit? Just a big round of applause as we welcome on the incredible, the one and only Lilia Letitgo.
So, the sickest nation in the UK, in Europe, are we going to put up with that?
No.
Are we going to change it?
Yes.
What would it take for us, the people of Scotland, to change our health trajectory from one of the worst in the world to one of the best? Education, inspiration and support. For over 35 years, I have been saying we need a place. We need a place. We need a place because currently we have one option. If we get sick, we would go to the hospital or to the doctor. And we have, it's 2026, for those of you that haven't noticed. We understand the 2 things that I have asked since my best friend's daughter got diagnosed with leukemia is, why would you get terminally ill at such a young age? and how can you get better without causing problems further down the line. It's all, ask anybody, my pal Debbie, she said to me, do you ever just read a book? No. I have been, passionate is the understatement, obsessed is more like it. Why do we get sick, and how can we get better? So, for me, my goal for you today, no, sorry, just 2 ticks. There it is. It's my presentation, right? So my goal is that you will leave here today inspired about the magnificence of the human body. And in my decades of research, one of the biggest problems I've seen is that we didn't understand not only are we physical, we're energy as well. Now, did you know that? Yes, you did. So you're well educated. So, we're physical, you look in the mirror, you see this, and what you can't see, the invisible, that's where all the fun and the excitement lies. Now, every one of us in here, at conception, there was a divine spark that started our lives. And the cell replicated and replicated. It knew what to do. Yeah? Did you have anything to do with that? Was there some innate intelligence running the show? Did you go, oh, maybe some nice blue eyes, and nice long legs, and light blonde hair? No, we had nothing to do with that, did we? The blueprint for the body was already there. Now, why is this important? Because, and I include myself in this, I've been a fitness instructor since I was 18, jumping about like a lunatic, high impact aerobics, loud music. You had to sweat, it had to be difficult, it had to be crazy to get a result. And I was 26 when my beloved aunt died, and when she was eating porridge with cream and sugar for her breakfast, I kind of knew that wasn't the best food for healing. I don't know why, it was just being in there. My mum was a hairdresser, my dad was a maths and science teacher. There was no real obvious reason why I was this attached to the food. Do you think that our disregard and disconnection from nature is adding to our dis-ease burden? So our food, I think for a long time, it's nutrition and exercise. That's how we get healthy, that's how we get well. Right? Did you believe that back in the day? And then you start to realise, okay, my son and I set up Scotland's first vibration training studio way back in 2006. And we had, do you know the top 2 reasons why we don't look after ourselves? No. Too busy and too tired. That's the top 2 reasons. Let's call them reasons for now. So we had vibration training, which allows you to do a full body workout in 12 minutes. And then we had me, with my diploma in nutrition, telling people what to eat. That's the 2 problems solved right there. And then I realised, oh, wait a minute. I tell people what to eat, and they don't eat it. Or I tell them what not to eat, and they do eat it. And it seemed kind of clear to me, go in that machine 3 times a week, eat this, don't eat that, and in 6 weeks' time you will physically be different. That's a fact, isn't it? So what comes in between us deciding today's the day, I'm going to change, I'm going to eat well, I'm going to be nice to my mother, I'm going to be exercising, blah, 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 all the things that we tell ourselves we'll do, ourselves. What happens between here and now? Life. Yeah. So I started to teach people to let go. I discovered that we were attached to concepts and labels and stories from the past. Anybody want to live in the past? Anybody want to drag the past? Okay, a little bit. Get your hair back. Yeah, so when we, and then I realised, I flew to Sedona in Arizona to learn how to let go, and I realised that even although people had flown there, bought a flight, bought a course, hired a car, got accommodation to a course that was about letting go, they wouldn't let go. But what I saw in front of my own two eyes was people transforming in seconds when they were brave enough to let go. So I came back and I thought, that's it. I now got the final piece of the puzzle, it's letting go. So we eat, we exercise, and we let go, and we're all healthy and wealthy. But even although we have the knowledge, does knowledge heal you? No. Absolutely no. What heals us? Action. Yeah. So last week, Jonathan and Lauren and I were lucky enough to be at this incredible course down in Chelmsford. And it was a business course in sales and marketing. But I watched what they were doing and I realised that instead of the word wealth, I would use the word health. The challenges are identical. And if you look, that energy field, the toroidal field that goes around the body, if you actually start to tune in to the field, do these fields interact with other people's fields?
Yes.
Yeah. Do they interact with the universal field, nature's field? Absolutely they do. So are we affecting and infecting each other?
Yes.
Absolutely. So the mistake that I had been making was focusing very much on the behaviours and the feelings. If we could just change the behaviours and if we didn't feel as bad. And then of course, when we change our diet, it's a big long list of things. It's going to be quite a challenge for us to raise the energy of the Scottish people, or the people that live in Scotland, the land we call Scotland, by asking them, stop doing all the things you love and start doing all the things that you don't love. And then we'll all heal. So when I started really going into the energy side of the body, and it's all about flow and colour. Now this can sound really woo-woo to people that don't understand. It certainly used to sound like that to me. What frequency are you on? Again, sounds quite a hippy-dippy thing. What colour therapy, what does that do? Sound therapy, what does that do? Biotherapies, what do they do? But if we start to believe and see and perceive and feel the energy part of the body, can we change it? Of course we can. And Joe Dispenza, who is really probably the groundbreaking lead in the world on energy healing and the power of the mind, he measures everything with very well-known ECG. What's the heart doing? We know the heart's electrical. We know that you can get an ECG and it measures the electrical beats in the heart. HRV, we've got a phone now that does all of that stuff for us. And we're starting to understand that if we put on good music, it changes how we feel. But did we realise how deep that can go? I didn't understand. I started studying sound, frequencies, and then I came across the heart, the human heart, and the frequency of the heart, 528, which is actually in nature, everywhere in the forest. The leaves hold far infrared, the trees provide us with oxygen, and light, everything that the Health Hub can help you with. Is there anybody here that spends enough time outside? Put your hand up if you're outside all the time. So most of us, it's safe to say, or fair to say, are probably not outside enough. So the battery, every cell in our body contains a charge, a voltage. And most of us now are like a phone where the charger's not working properly. And you wake up in the morning and it's still in red. You ever felt like that? We are not energised. We are not charged at a cellular level. So last year, my friend invited me down to a festival in Bristol called Fire in Your Soul to speak at it. And I went down there in July, and I met Jonathan's nephew's business partner. And he said, well, I'm coming up to Scotland. And I said, oh, come and visit. My grandkids have got boats and kayaks and all the toys that you need. So when he came up, he invited me over to their house for dinner, to the house they were staying at, which happened to be Jonathan's house. I hadn't met Jonathan, knew nothing about the hub at this time. And Jonathan's nephew and Bert are business partners, Arcadia Music, which is pretty cool. And so I was talking to Pip, and he said, my uncle's into all that stuff that you're into. He's opened a place in Glasgow. It's been open for a few years, and I was like, I would have heard of that, but where is it? And he said, I can't remember the name of the place, but I'll get back to you. So the next day, Jonathan called me, and he said, come and see the place. So bear in mind, we need a place, we need a place, we need a place. Has been my mantra. I walked in, and I was like, this is the place. Thank you, Jonathan, for building and creating the place, the space. Now, there's nothing magical about biotherapies. We're just taking what we're not getting from nature into a place where your body can access the light, the oxygen, and the electromagnetic field simply and safely. So imagine my excitement. I was like, right. And suddenly, from plodding along, which I've been doing plodding along, because you can imagine when I say, oh, I've got a social enterprise called Scale Scotland, what people say. You want to heal a whole country? Oh, you'll not see it in your lifetime. I'm like, this space. So have I allowed, I don't even know where my drive comes from, I'll be perfectly honest, because trying to sell health to Scots is not a great business venture, let me assure you. But there's something. And then suddenly I saw it. Because my brother and my daughter have been very unwell for years. And that's been very difficult for me, as you can imagine, with all my suggestions on how you can get well. But if you're in very low state of health, chronic fatigue, a lot of body pain, apathy, and you've been sick for a long time, do you want me coming in, telling you a big list of things of all you can do to get better? No, you don't. But what I saw at the hub was, we can help charge the batteries up. And it's a bit like this in schools as well with kids. You can't teach an exhausted child. The brain's not in the right state. So now I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm getting this all arse for elbow, pardon the phrase. We need to get the bodies charged up first. So now, do I want my clients in the health hub when I'm working with them? Absolutely. Why? Results. That's the only thing I'm interested in. Does it work? Yes. I've said it with my own two eyes. I don't want to over-egg it. We cannot make promises because we don't know what you do at home. We don't know what your fate is, your destiny, what your soul journey, whatever you want to call it. But what we do know is, can we help you to feel better? 100%. And then this lovely couple that just woke yesterday morning, this is the way things have been going for me recently. I went to the desk and said to Lee, there's an Airbnb in this place somewhere, isn't there? And she said, yeah. I said, do you know who it is that owns it? And she said, no, I don't. I can find out. I kid you not, an hour later, the couple who own the Airbnb walked into the health hub and said, oh, we've got an Airbnb. We were just like, what? If that's not instant manifestation, I do not know what is. So let me just give you a little bit. This cannot happen without collaboration. We were never designed to compete. Our health should never be about wealth, and I know this, and I know this, and I'm not going to tell you what I know if you don't give me money. It can't be like that. But for now, with the model we have, bills have to get paid. We know that, we understand that. And that's why Lauren was talking about the ball. And we're also looking at ways with our membership that we can subsidise people's health packages so that everybody can have access to this. But the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at taking the biotherapies. Now, Jonathan's an engineer, you'll hear him speak shortly. This man is details, he knows exactly. He looked at a brochure that came from a conference in Germany, and he said, look at that factory. And I was like, oh yeah. He said, do you see the equipment they've got there? Now, show me a picture of a factory, I've not got a clue. Jonathan looked right in there, he realised he then did a virtual tour to find out all the questions you need to know about red light. Because do you know that? No. We need to know that what we're using is top grade and is going to get us the results safely. So, Jonathan had his virtual tour, we've got some products on the way. Oxygen, did you know that most of us are deficient in oxygen? Did you know that? Why? Because of the stupid way we breathe. We're breathing up here, changing our chemistry without even realising it, anxious. Because that's when you breathe up there, that is for, right, how am I going to get out of this situation? We're mineral deficient because of what we've done at the topsoil. We're stressed. Anybody had a bit of stress in the last 5 years? Yeah? Disease happens for two reasons. Too much of one thing and not enough of the other. And we've been looking at things like, oh, you need vitamin B, you need vitamin D, you need all these things. But in actual fact, if you're living in connection with nature, you will have. Nature knows what to do, but we're not living in the perfect world yet. So until we can get the economy sorted, fix the mess that's going on out there, we have these incredible biotherapies to help you heal. And when the disease cannot live in an oxygenated environment, so can we hire out oxygen? Can we hire out red light? We need you. What do you need? This is a collaboration of ideas, of passion, of a willingness to take action. We're looking at health hubs in all the major cities. My daughter and my brother live in Argyll, 2 hours drive from here. And I said to John, we need to take these into people's homes. And the great thing is, you'll know very quickly if it's going to help you. It's not like we need to do this for 6 months and we'll see. It's not that. Very often, one session, those people start to feel different. And then what have you got? Hope. Because our system takes the hope away in a lot of cases. Keeping you right for time. Yeah? What's the time? 11. Right. So, because obviously, we have to be told the worst case scenario. Oh, you could die. And I'm being flippant about this, but trust me, I have walked a lot of people to the gate. And I have thought, this is a crazy way to do this. It's torture, actually. I've done it enough times now that I can tell you that, in case you haven't had personal experience. It is torture. So, are we going to keep doing the same thing, looking for a better result? Let me touch on our health stats. Around 30 people today will have a stroke, around 30 people will have a heart attack. There'll be over 3,000 people diagnosed with cancer this month. 1 in 5, over 45 living with chronic pain. 26% of adult women on antidepressants. Suicide rates, drug rates. I don't want to ruin your Saturday. But we have to know where we're at, so that we know where we're going. Would you agree? This is totally and utterly unacceptable for me. I'm not having it. We need to intervene. Do you think the government's going to change this? No. Do you think Big Pharma's going to change it? Where do you think this change can come from? It has to come, it has to be a groundswell of communities, and that's the other thing that we're going to do at the hub. We will have a place. I've just spent a month in Skye running back-to-back retreats. I'm going to Cretan in March, and I'm going to be running back-to-back retreats. Last year I ran 11 retreats back-to-back in Skye. I've done a lot of retreats. I've been running them for 30 years. 6 years ago I took 9 people and I kept them locked up for 3 months to prove that if you do that every day, you'll get better. I know that we can heal ourselves. There's not a shred of doubt in my mind. But currently, if you come to me, I tend to work with young women that have been diagnosed terminally. If you come to me, you're terrified. You're overwhelmed and you're overloaded, and then you go online, don't you? And then it's like the overwhelm becomes worse. And back in the day, I realised an hour a week with me is not enough. It's just not. We need to look at trauma, we need to look at diet, we need to look at relationships, we need to look at belief systems. We know all this, don't we? We're not doing any of it in the allopathic system. Not a single one of these things will be addressed. So what are we going to do about that? Blame, shame, complain? I've done enough of that, I tell you. And now it's time for action. And thanks to meeting Jonathan, I suddenly saw that in my lifetime this can happen. If enough of us are willing to take action. Are you willing to take action? Yeah. And we need to collaborate, as my pal said, collab's the new black. I was like, yeah, I like that. Collaborating with each other, the organic farmer, people who have got skills, a lot of people who are retired and are perfectly fit and healthy and would love to give back. We need ideas. We want to get, there's biotherapy sprouting up all over the country. I'm hearing stories that are helping people. You're not going to get this information in the newspaper or on the, mainstream media. You're just not going to get it there. Now, I could be a conspiracy theorist and say they're trying to keep that information away from us, but whether that's true or not, regardless, we need to wake up and stand on our own 2 feet and take action. Would you agree? Yes. So, here's the picture. Drug deaths are down. Suicides, no suicides this year. Cancer rates have plummeted. Can you imagine? What's our superpower? Our imagination. Now what can happen is we'll just look at all these stats and you can slide down into the mire. I mean, it's pretty grim. Or we go enough. We were a nation of inventors. We invented stuff. We have the best brain food probably on planet Earth. Salmon, trout, herring, mackerel, oily fish, omega-3. Omega-3, do you know what that does? It allows information to be conducted through the body. It's all about the flow of energy. But are we eating that? Oh no, we're exporting all that stuff away to countries. And what do we eat? Fry Mars bars and pizzas. I'm exaggerating, but you get the picture. At our retreats, I will put great food. I'm a nutritionist. When I've got a meal together, I know exactly what your microbiome's getting if you come to have a dinner with me, or you come in one of our retreats. I'm healing you with the intention that's going into the food, with what's going into your body, and I'll see people looking down and I'll say, what's this? Rabbit food. That's how far away we are. Miles away from nature. Because we're so used to going into the shop and buying something out of the packet. So we've got work to do. But I truly, genuinely believe that when people understand we've been played, we have been played. The tobacco companies did it, and guess what happened when they get called out? Oh, they moved into food. Have you read Junk Food Nation? They know the bliss point in our brain to create the chemistry of love. Salt, fat, and sugar. It's deliberate. And that's why it's difficult for us to get our children off that. And also, to make it not cool, it's just a wee treat. You know, we need to really man up and start understanding it's not a wee treat. We're an ecosystem, interacting with other ecosystems, and we are powerful beyond our wildest imagination. And we're only waking up to that. Are we ready to turn this trajectory around? Can you help us? So let's look at ways you can help. You can come to the ball, which is going to be fun. You can talk to people about this. Initiatives in your school, we're working quite closely with the recovery group, and they're looking at nutrition now. And it's how we can do that, how we can add in without terrifying people and changing their microbiome and their taste buds. And looking at can biotherapies help with children. You know, gut issues are huge. We're seeing young teenagers coming to us with gut issues. That's the food and stress, because the two things go hand in hand. You're not eating right, you're going to be stressed. You're stressed, you're not going to be eating right. It all works. It's that downward spiral. But we collectively, let me tell you the things at Heal Scotland that we bang on about. Why? Because we know they work. Breathe differently. When you learn to monitor your emotional system with how you breathe, could that be a superpower? Where does your mind wander to? The worst case scenario, drama, adrenaline? Or do you just stop and think, let me just imagine what I want, not what I don't want? Where are you sailing your cellular spaceship to? Dis-ease or ease is all happening from here. The other really powerful thing, and it was really clear in Sky, is intermittent fasting. It's just a no-brainer. And if you don't want to change your diet, just change the time that you eat your food, and it will transform your results. I can promise you that. Because about 5 years ago, we did our first intermittent fasting challenge, and I got letters from so many people. Things like, I've been in pain for 20 years. My mind's been foggy, I've been depressed. Just but another, what? I'm banging on about the nutrients. And it's the time. If you go put a lot of food into your belly at night and then try to go to sleep, you're not working with the circadian rhythm, are you? If you stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed, the body digests the food, and then you go to sleep, and it goes through the night, detoxes all your organs, repairs, restores, revitalises, and you wake up in the morning like this. Yay! You're laughing. Yes. Because how do we know that? There's nothing nicer than sitting eating rubbish when you're watching the TV at night, is there? Because we didn't understand. Nobody bothered to tell us. Changing your body temperature, another hugely powerful thing. Now, I'm not saying get Aldo to make you stay in the ice while he's got a drone above your head filming you. But simple things like putting your hands in very cold water and putting your feet in very cold water can dull your pain 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 points. Far infrared saunas. There's 2 state-of-the-art beautiful saunas at the hub. We're now understanding that they will detox you better than any parasite cleanse. Is that not great news? Great news. You just go and sit in there and get nice and warm. I used to live in Malta. I hate the cold. People think I like ice. I don't. I do it because I do not want to live in a body with pain. So you get starting to get the gist. And I like things that are free. Why? Because I can sit in front of anybody and recommend that with my hand on my heart. I know it works. So I'm not saying go and jump in an ice bath for 10 minutes right now. I'm not saying that. But I've also watched Kenny Nielsen from the Polar Bear Club at our festivals put people in ice for 10 minutes. They transform. One reason why is because they can't believe that they could do that. And see the feeling you get when you do something you didn't believe you could do. Which brings me to the belief, and this is another powerful thing we're going to have at the hub. We're going to bring people together that have been diagnosed stage 3, stage 4. They're all just numbers for me. I don't even get involved in them anymore because I know the power we have over the body. But I also know how difficult it can be. Here's the flock doing what the flock does, and I try and take somebody out of the flock and get them to do the complete opposite. What inevitably happens is that they can come back into the flock. So what we need is the flock. We need to address this at community level, and that's what we're going to be able to do. We had an incredible, there's a few people that were in Sky with me, my pal Linda there, she's mat on her broken foot. Talk to her about that. Unbelievable. We know that when you go back into your community, things can get challenging, and that's why I'm like, we need a place. People can come back now, they can come to the hub, they can check back in, they can do the biotherapies, they can come when we have the cafe, they can come and socialise and spend a whole day there, go for a beautiful walk. This is what we need to do. We have this mothership of all these things that we need, and you tell us what you need. What are your ideas? I'm very focused on one thing. Jonathan's very focused on the biotherapies alone. We need all these brains and all these personality types to come together to get the solutions. Because is there a solution? Yes, of course there is. But the thing is, we have given so much of our power away. If somebody says to you that's incurable, what's the first thing I would do? I would be on the internet. The first girl that I worked with MS, I said, did you never Google people who healed MS naturally? She said, no. I was like, why? It never occurred to her. Because she assumed that what she was being told is true. And you know about assuming, don't you? So it's really, I can see you coming in. It's really, really important that we wake up. We can't promise anybody anything. We need to be really clear on that. But there are people all over the world defying the odds. Dr. Kelly Turner did a 10-year PhD on it. The book's called Radical Remissions. People who took chemotherapy and were told they were going to die and didn't. People who didn't take chemotherapy or the treatments and were told they were going to die and didn't. And people who did both but were told they were going to die and didn't. Why is that? Some people just take it on as it's true. Now, you think you've been living in this body for me, it'll be 66 years in May. I've been living in here. Can any stranger know more about my body than me? Absolutely no way. No way. So this is about this sacred container. I've got a very strong faith, and I believe that this is a container for our soul. Doesn't matter what we believe. I have real faith in this body. And that's what we need to get back. We don't need a whole load of things to stay alive, popping pills that make people very, very rich, but we do need nature. And if you don't have nature, if you're not out there, if you can't be out there, then you need biotherapies. And we will demonstrate that to you. So I think you've probably got the message about how passionate I am about this and how we are going to be looking to have health hubs. So keep your ears and your eyes open. If you want to have these therapies at home, if you know somebody that's maybe got a salon or a room somewhere that would put them in, a conservatory that you don't use, we need to get this out. We have a third of our working population currently are off sick. And having seen it with my own two eyes, that level of fatigue and apathy, people are poisoned and really, really bereft at their bodies. And we know if you can come to the hub and you can try, there's a very good chance you're going to feel better. And I think that is an idea worth sharing, don't you? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, big huge round of applause for Lilia Letitgo. And we're going to break just for 5 minutes to let anyone go to the toilet, and then we're going to welcome on Jonathan from the Health Hub for final.